everybody. Welcome to today's Missions Minute. Today, we're going to be talking about Hurricane Helene. So, when a disaster like this happens, we get flooded with responses of people who want to get involved and who want to help. And we want to help those people to know what to do. And we also want to let you guys know how Mission Discovery is responding to this disaster. So, today we have Nathan Walters, president of Mission Discovery, here. And Nathan, can you just tell us a little bit more about what is happening? What is Hurricane Helene? What are some of the effects that have happened because of this?
Hurricane Helene. Yeah, it's really just a giant hurricane that hit the southern part of the states and came up and kind of wreaked havoc. And we're based in Nashville, Tennessee, and so about 4 hours from here is East Tennessee and North Carolina, where they're seeing a ton of flooding from this hurricane. And so the flooding is so bad. We're hearing reports of like entire towns being washed away, and a lot of people are missing, and people have lost their lives. And so, like you said, whenever that happens, people call us and want to get involved. And so, we just want to kind of get ahead of that and let people know how we are involved.
Yeah. So, what is Mission Discovery's plan right now?
In disaster relief, you can chop it up into four sections, into four responses, four stages really of disaster relief. The first is just relief, immediate relief. So that's your first responders going in, making sure that people are safe, getting people out of their homes, and just getting people into safety. That lasts about maybe a week. After that week, you've got the recovery, which is like get people in shelter or housing, make sure that they're medically taken care of, make sure that they're getting food and water. And then you've got the rehab effort, which comes about 3 months after that short-term relief effort, which is, you're starting to rebuild homes, you're starting to get people back into the secure places, you're starting to rebuild facilities in the community, like water facilities. Sometimes electricity's been out for this long. And then the fourth area is development. That's after people are back in homes and things like that. You're continuing to develop the community, continuing to give them education and foster the sense of a normal, sustainable community again. And so for Mission Discovery, when we experience these things or when we want to respond to a disaster like this, our strengths lie in really the third and fourth area of disaster recovery. We're not first responders. We don't go and rescue people from their homes and get them somewhere safe. We would be in the way. Our teams would be in the way if we did that, and may even cause more damage than good. If we get stuck somewhere. Emergency responders are now having to deal with us, So going right now in the wake of this, after just a couple of days of this happening, it's not smart for us. Really, the second phase of disaster recovery or disaster relief is, your organizations like the Red Cross, Samaritan's Purse is really good at this. They set up temporary shelters. They get people food, water, the supplies they need to kind of live and survive until their homes are then restored and rebuilt, which is where we kind of come in. Our teams are good about 3 months after when the homes are ready to be rebuilt, when the churches are ready to be rebuilt, things like that. Our teams can come in and help with that effort, and then the development phase, we are also good at that. We work with church, like in Haiti's a perfect example. After that earthquake, we planted churches. We worked with a church organization there to get churches and water and food and stability to multiple communities in that area. Just a long-term development phase, and that can last from a year, onward. So really the third and fourth phase of disaster recovery is where we shine as an organization. So we have to be laser focused on those things, because if we get distracted with let's try to get there right now and help, we can cause more damage than good. So
yeah, that's a really good point. So for people who right now, this just happened this weekend. So for people who are on fire and they're like, I want to do something, like I need to do something right now, what would you say to those people?
I would say if you want to do something right now, pray. Number one, pray. Right now, we know that there are people still missing. We know that there are people that have no cell phone service, no way in, no way out, completely stranded by the storm. So prayer is your number one resource right now. Number two, you could donate to things like Red Cross or go on their website to see what they need. Samaritan's Purse is another one. There are a lot of organizations that do immediate relief really well. So you could look up ways to help in those areas. And then, you know, for us, we are going to be putting a trip together. We have people on that right now. We've actually started working with our partners in Asheville a while back to try to put a trip together before this. So we're just going right back to the people that we know and are putting together a trip closer to the Black Mountain area. But all that's coming up. I mean, that'll be like 3 months down the road. So we'll be ready to launch in probably February, March of next year for trips there.
So, Nathan, I know that sometimes when something like this happens, we have a lot of people at the beginning who are really excited to chip in and help. But can you talk about the importance of kind of holding on for 3 or 4 months and being willing to be involved later on down the road?
That's a great question, Haley. So the thing is yes, our hearts are stirred right now, and this happens all the time in the news. We see it all the time. It's like it's a really hot topic for about a week, and then it just leaves. And all these people, all these towns that have been literally wiped off the face of the planet, all these people are going to need help. 3 months down the road, they're going to need help, and the news is going to forget about them. It happens every time. So my encouragement would be to keep this at the top of your prayer list, pray for these people, and be ready to hear from Mission Discovery for future trips. That's our thing at Mission Discovery. We don't want these people to be forgotten because they're not. And we want them to see that the love of Christ is after them, even in the midst of the darkness of something like this. And we will not forget them. So that's the importance of holding on, waiting for a trip to come in the future.
Well, Nathan, thanks for talking about this today. Unless there's something else that you want to add, I can go ahead and pray for the people who are dealing with the effects of this disaster right now and pray for the teams who are helping them.
Yeah, please do.
Dear Lord, we thank you for just the goodness that you have. And we come to you with heavy hearts for the people who have been affected by this disaster. And God, we just ask that you embrace them and just the peace that surpasses understanding that only you offer. Lord, we ask that you give them safety. We ask that you give them comfort. We ask that you be with the first responders who are in these situations right now. Lord, we ask that you give them the energy and the perseverance that they need to get through this. And God, we ask that people's hearts would be stirred and that they find ways to help these communities. And Lord, I ask that you bless us and guide our ways as we make preparations to help down the road in a few months. And Lord, I ask that the zeal for this not end right now, that it continue and that people continue to want to be involved and that these communities are not forgotten. We love you, God, and we know that this whole situation is just in your hands.